Welcome, everyone, to the March 10th, 2026 City of Broussard Council meeting. Please remember to adjust your microphones and speak into them so you can be heard clearly on our broadcast. If anyone from our audience would like to make a comment on an item listed on our agenda, please fill out a blue card located near the entrance door and turn it into our city clerk. Each speaker will be given a maximum of 3 minutes. Please rise for the pledge. Please remain standing for our invocation done by Deacon David Tilley from First Baptist Church of Broussard. Welcome, Deacon.
Thank you. I just want to, before I pray, I just want to invite everyone to our Easter service we're having on April the 5th, Easter Sunday morning in Arsenal Park. At 10 o'clock, we're going to have an Easter egg hunt for all the children. And then at 10:30, we're going to have a service there at Arsenal Park. So we want to invite the whole city of Broussard to be a part of that if you'd like to. All right, let's pray. Father in heaven, Lord, we just lift up your name as holy today, Lord. We thank you for being our God. We thank you for all the blessings you give us. Thank you, Lord, especially for the city of Broussard and for all the leadership here, Lord, for those who take care of our parks and our policemen and firefighters, Lord. We just ask that you protect them each and every day as they go out and put their lives on the line to protect us, Lord. I pray for each of these council members that you would just give them wisdom. And if there's anyone, Lord, who is suffering or has an illness in their family, I pray for healing for them as well today. Thank you for all your blessings. I pray all of this in Jesus' holy name. Amen.
All right, item 2.1, acceptance of the minutes of the February 10th, 2026 audit hearing. Do we have a motion to accept?
Motion.
Second. Kelly, do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question. District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yay.
Motion approved.
Item 2.2, acceptance of the minutes of the February 10th, 2026 regular meeting. Do we have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second.
Kelly, any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yay.
District 1? Yes. Motion approved.
Item 2.3, acceptance of the minutes of the February 18th, 2026 special meeting. Do we have a motion to accept?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yay.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item 3.1, approval of the January 2026 financial report. Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll move. Second.
The highlights of the report are January's income, sales tax income was 1% above our budget for the month, which leaves us at 1% below the budget for the entire year. Year to date, that puts us 2% above our sales tax income for 2025 and 1% below the 2024 sales tax budget. Do we have public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 6?
Yay.
District 1? Yes. District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion approved.
Other business, item 4.1, Mr. Roberts Singleton bus stop discussion. Mr. Roberts here with us tonight. I think he'd like to address the council.
How are y'all doing today? I own the property at 100 block of Village Square Drive where the bus stop cover is. The older kids do not catch the bus there. They catch it at East Roosevelt, which is a block away. The younger kids, the parents do what all the parents do in Broussard, sit at stop sign and wait for the bus to put the kids on. And I also would like the 50 by 50 easement lifted on the property and it all be mine so I can maintain it like I want. And it's about it right now. You know, any
Okay, thank you, Mr. Robert. Ben, I know you've talked to the school board. Can you give us a report on the bus stop, activity and, what they have it listed as?
Yes, sir. So, upon your request, I contacted the school board, to find out if this is a bus stop, an official bus stop. It is listed on the school board website and is an official bus stop for all three grade levels, high school, middle school, and elementary school. So then I reached out to the bus driver, one of the bus drivers that makes this route, to ask if the kids use the bus. She informed me that during inclement weather, rain events and stuff like that, they do have some kids with their parents who stand underneath the cover.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Mr. Gerald, can you speak to, what Mr. Robert mentioned about the, easement on the property?
Well, we do, we believe that there is an easement there, and he's asking that it be waived or abandoned. The question is, what alternatives are there? If there's another alternative that would work equally well for the children, and it's not going to cost the city, that certainly would be reasonable. But right now, I don't know of any alternative, and I don't, so right now, I believe we have an easement, and, it's I think the next step would be to explore whether or not there is an alternative.
Thank you for the clarification, Mr. Gerald.
I'd like to say this too. I did, when this came up to me, I did walk down Village Square and talk to a couple of the residents. A lot of their kids are in high school, but the ones that are younger do stand under there. Like I said, it was 3 houses down that street that did confirm that their kids do stand there when it's raining, when it's really windy, all of that good stuff. I do agree with Mr. Robert. There are cars that park down there, but I don't think all of them do. So that's what I got.
You spoke about maintaining it. Does the city do any grass cutting around there?
Say that again?
You said you wanted that down to maintain your
Well,
property.
the town maintains the property now. They cut the grass. Because that's what the 50-foot of easement's about cutting the property. It's to maintain the property. And that's what it's about. If the building comes out, I'll maintain it myself. That's what I'm talking about. If the building comes out, I will maintain my property just like I did the trees I cut down next to the property because the property runs across. Now, I don't know why, but the bus stop has never been cleaned. I asked to have it cleaned 5 months ago. My wife did. And it's never been cleaned. So parents that come sit in this bus stop, there's green on the seats. They're gonna get it on their good clothes to go to work, the kids' clothes when they sit in there, or they just standing in there. That's what I'm saying. There's no maintenance on it. Nobody has done no maintenance on it. Underneath the seats, insects, spiders, black widows, anything can hide underneath them. If a child gets bit, I ain't responsible.
Sure, but at the moment, there are no seats in
There's
the
no
covered
seats.
area.
There's little seats against the walls about this wide. That's all it is. All that you see around the bottom, that's a seat. And it's green on it. And, what's going to end up happening is it's just like an abandoned building. It's going to be abandoned and just sitting there.
How long has the building been up like it is now? Does anybody know?
It's been there since 2015.
No, okay, so I thought it was,
It's on the 50-foot agreement. Whatever's on that 50-foot agreement, that's when it was put up.
okay, for it being 11 years old, it doesn't look even close to being dilapidated or falling apart or in need of repair. Maybe a good pressure wash, but that's about it.
Well, that's what my wife asked 5 months ago to have done. And now we're at the 5th month.
How long have you owned that? When did you buy
Going
it?
on 6 months.
Mr. Robert, I'll agree with you that, if the city's gonna have a bus stop there, and apparently we do have an easement, and today, you know, we have the right and authority to have a bus stop there. It needs to be improved. But, yeah, I mean, a bench, a cement slab so the kids don't stand in the wet grass, all of that makes 100% sense to me.
Okay, when we're talking about cement slab, all right, when the children get off this bus stop, they gotta walk down the sidewalk and turn the corner, get onto the bus. Why can't they come off the bus stop, go straight out to the bus? Why can't the city then, if you're gonna do all this, not fill in the ditch and make it to where they can go from the bus stop straight out to the bus, to the school bus? Instead of bus having to wait for them to walk around, but you're only looking at 1, 2 children when it rains?
Well,
If,
I mean, Gerald said it correctly. It's whether the bus stop is here or in another position. I don't want children standing in the rain waiting for a bus, whether it's one child or more. Is there another location we can have an adequate bus stop for them? I mean, that's what we're talking about. Remove this, then those children that do stand there, even if it's 3, are out in the rain, and that doesn't sound like something that we should do.
how many bus stops we got in the city of Broussard?
This, I don't know, but this owner
I know of.
gave an easement to the city for the specific purpose of putting a bus stop. I understand now you own the property, but you own the property with an easement on it for a bus stop. So that's what we're discussing now. What do? Do we improve it? Do we remove it? Any alternate location that's within usability to the kids that are using this one would be fine with me. I'm sure I could work that out. I don't have that answer. I mean, maybe somebody in this room does. And please make the suggestion if you know of a spot. I just don't want to put kids out in the rain. That's my only issue. It has nothing to do with that property or the next property. It's
Why is it, there's only these 2 and nowhere else in Broussard? Why ain't everywhere people come to the corner of Morgan Street ain't got a bus stop?
we have to have an easement on the property to put a bus stop. We have one here.
Well, the understanding that I've got, the man that owned the property did this so he didn't have to maintain his property, period. That was all it was done for.
Well, that's his reason. That's a perfectly fine reason for him to do that.
Well, now I own the property. Is what I'm getting at. He does not own it no more.
But the easement's already in place, correct?
My easement starts at the front of the sidewalk back. If you pull it up at the tax assessor's office, that's where it starts at, from the sidewalk back.
Well, our attorney's here. Mr. Gerald, is this bus stop on a legal easement for the city?
Well, there's an easement that's in place. Question is whether, I mean, and it gives the public, this is it for the benefit of the public and the school children, for the city to provide it, and it's serving a purpose. Now, if there are questions concerning maintenance of the property, and if you believe that the city is not properly maintaining the easement, I think that's a legitimate question, because the city has an obligation to maintain an easement which is granted in its favor. And so if it means cutting grass, if it means, spraying this, cleaning up this metal building, if it means putting down a concrete slab underneath it, those things are legitimate questions. But I think that's where we need to be. And I think that if you have concerns over the maintenance, that's what we need to address. And I think the city's more than willing to address those issues.
100%. I mean, I can commit us to that. We can certainly do those things. Is that a remedy for your question, Mr. Robert?
Well, I can't do nothing with the property, with it on there, period.
So you want it torn down?
Well, I wanted it where I could, it'd be my property. If I decide, I don't know why nobody has ever built a house there to begin with. It's on a corner lot. I don't understand it, why nothing was ever built on there when the guy had it. It's a pretty lot, period. And the pecan tree, I wanted to take it down, but if I can't have nothing, it ain't coming down.
But you bought the property knowing that this was on an easement that the city
Well-
was maintaining.
What it was, when the lady had filled up, did all this and turned it over to me, a judge had signed off on it, onto the property. So when he signed off on it, I thought everything was clear. Because they never did find nothing on the property at the tax assessor's office or in the courthouse. The letter I got, I had to get from the city about the 50 by 50 easement.
Okay, I guess what I'm asking, if we maintain it and we make sure that it's well kept, is it fine where it is, or you would like it torn down?
If y'all gonna maintain it, fine. I'll talk to my wife. We'll let it go at that. But it's got to be cleaned. But y'all gonna find out later on down the line, when it wants to be taken out, what we're gonna do. Later on, y'all decide y'all wanna take it out because it's no more serviceable for children or whatever, or it's just an eyesore for the city of Broussard, just sitting there. You try to improve the city of Broussard, I'm trying to improve it already. I cut down trees by a gas plant to try to save people from they'd fall on the gas plant to live around the gas plant. I've been trying to do that for many years. I couldn't get it done. When I got the property, that's the first thing I've done. Is cut them trees down and save these people to live around this gas plant. Nobody understood it. I did. I've been in the oil field all my life. I know what gas lines and pipelines can do. But like I said, if they ain't using it, it don't pay to have it there, is the main point. They're improving it by putting cement underneath it, building the front where they can walk to the bus, money spent, you're not gonna recover it. And I had a sign up saying, this may be removed, new ownership, for the people behind Village Square to contact you to say why this is gonna be removed. Has anybody contacted you?
No, not since you put the sign up, but like I said, I did walk that street.
Well, I took the sign down about 2 months ago.
They might not have even seen it. I
Well,
never
it was
saw it, and I
facing-
live across the street.
It was
so.
facing their direction when they drove down the driveway.
Okay, like I said, I guess my question is if we maintain it and we keep it not, keep it clean, keep it kept, do some improvements to it to where, it's suitable for the city and for you and for the kids, is that sufficient, or do you want us to tear it down?
Well, we'll just have to let it go like that. I guess.
An
There's
answer,
nothing-
which one do you want? You want us to keep it up, or like, I need to know what direction to go in here. And I'm putting
Let
you,
me talk to my wife, because we've been going around and around about this, and she's about had enough of it. But I do want it clean.
I do understand your point. If there's only one or two kids, but that's somebody's one or two kids that is standing under there to stay out of the rain. So just one kid makes a difference. So like I said, I just want to know what you and your wife expect us to do going forward.
Well, we wanted to take it down, but if it's going, let me just talk to her and see, and I'll call you and let you know. Because I don't want to tie up all this over this, and, it's just getting me kind of, and let me talk to her and see what she says, and I'll let you know tomorrow.
And Mr. Robert, I'll commit to you that we'll have it cleaned, we'll have it sprayed, we can look at some reasonable improvements for it. We don't want it to be a hindrance to your property, but it is serving a public service. But working with you and doing improvements that you agree with, but that, help the kids that are using it, seems like a reasonable answer. And I'll commit to you that we're willing to do that.
I don't want to be a hard ass for nobody in the city. I'm just trying to improve the city, that's it.
Well, and we want to work with you. We're willing to do some improvements.
Mel, one question. Mel, when your grass cutters cut it, can you make them weed eat around that pecan tree?
Sure. Yeah, we can have them do that.
Okay, because I cleaned that area up. It was
Yeah.
bad at one time.
Okay.
And I gotta go over there every so many days and weed eat around the tree.
Yeah, it seems to be in the right of way.
I'm just trying to keep it where it looks pretty, at least coming into the entrance of the neighborhood.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Robert. Item 4.2, Drainage System Master Plan. So this is, just wanted to put it on public record that the city has now posted our Drainage System Improvement Master Plan on our City of Broussard website. We're not going to go through the whole plan tonight. We have a long agenda, but it talks about the projects we have been doing ever since the first project we did after the great flood of 2016, the major arterials of Broussard that have been cleaned, and the ones we're still cleaning, like Cooley Fortune. I think Mel's had a crew doing maintenance on that Cooley for probably a year and a half. It's 4 miles long, but you can see the improvement if you just drive through Arsenal Park or near Maxie's Campground, what it was and what it is today. We've identified several structures that we have to change, one of which is the bridge on St. Deporah Street. But the plan outlines those major arterials and then how the city is now moving into neighborhood drainage, roadside drainage, following a systematic scientific plan of we need to move water out of the city when we have heavy rains. We need the big canals to work. Then we're taking the most problematic areas in the city that are within roadside ditches and doing engineering and funding projects to get it to the major arterials. Our big challenge at Broussard mostly is getting water across Highway 90. Most of our water drains under Highway 90, but then into the outfall at the swamp past Garber Road. And it works, but you have these hurdles of passes that way into St. Martin Parish. But the city has been systematically doing this over a number of years. We've made some great improvements. We still have work to do, but it highlights what we've spent, the millions that we've spent moving in this direction, and the projects that are coming up for funding in the future, the millions we still have to spend. But we've made great progress, very proud of our team that's done that, the council funding these projects. I don't think we've ever had anything but unanimous votes as far as drainage improvements have been going. And we're going to continue to do it. So if anybody wants to explore our master plan, it's on our website, it's posted there, and you can kind of see that history and what's coming up in the future for our city. So now it's in a little more of a form that makes sense as a whole. Any comments, Mel, Walter? I mean, you've been intimately part of these programs for a long, long time.
Well, I'm all about doing engineering projects and new stuff, but never discount the fact of maintenance. We still are in an area that's highly agricultural, and we'll see, we have measured some of our outfalls that have up to 2 feet of silt in 1 year. So what Mel does, we can build the greatest thing, but if we don't maintain it.
Yeah, we've spoke about this time and time again. You've always got maintenance on drainage. When the rain falls, you got silt that goes into the drainage canals. We have to maintain all of this stuff. So that's what we're in the process of doing, is maintaining everything.
Absolutely. And I think even the end of the plan kind of gives a call to action to our residents about things that they can help with. And it's simple things, reporting when there's a blockage in a canal or a system that they see, so we can get to it before there's a major event and it's causing a problem. Not putting grass clipping and leaves into the drainage system, kind of doing what you can, litter, those kind of things, not letting the trash can float down the canal and plug up some culvert and it gives us a problem that we might not know about. Just paying attention to that and considering it a real vital system in the city, because when it's getting stressed, it's affecting everybody. So just a little bit of a report on that. I think it's a good little read, and it kind of sums up what the city's been doing and what we're planning to do. Item 4.3, Attorney General's opinion number 25-0139, discussion update. I'm going to turn this one over to our attorney, Mr. Gerald Deloney. Gerald?
Yes, when we were here, when we talked about this last time, we said we would meet with the contractor and then I could report back to the council. And we had a meeting, Mayor, Councilman Delahousie, me, and the contractor. And we had a candid discussion of the effect of the Attorney General's opinion and the fact that The next step is to determine what needs to be built and how it's going to be built. And where we landed on that was to have contractors, traffic engineer, Mr. Tikel meet with the city's traffic engineer and to see if they could explore and find an option that is acceptable to both sides. And that's where we are right now.
Item 4.4, Acadian Ambulance Regional Station. We've got some guests from Acadian Ambulance. Welcome. So in a nutshell, I'm sure the council understands it, but just to frame it, we have been talking back and forth about a regional station at our old fire station building on Main Street. And you guys have some ideas, so please.
Yeah, good afternoon. So my name is Taylor Richard. I'm the Regional Vice President for Acadian Ambulance. I have Rebecca Cummings. Rebecca is our Operations Manager for what we consider kind of our Hub City Lafayette type area. So we appreciate the time today. Just real quick, and I know you all kind of have just a quick one pager. We also wanted to take the opportunity while we were here just to kind of update you a little bit on what we're doing with the city of Broussard when it kind of comes. So if it's okay, quick 10 seconds, and I'll let Rebecca kind of chat about it.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone, for your time tonight. So looking at Q4 of 2025, we had an average response time to emergencies of 8 minutes and 36 seconds, and we transported an average of 8 patients a day. If we kind of look globally at Broussard and Acadian's relationship, we proudly have 40 Acadian employees that reside in Broussard itself. That results in $2.52 million in payroll spent for Broussard each year. And then exciting things that we're doing right now is that we're partnering with Broussard PD. I believe it was today and Thursday that we're working with them to recertify them in all their CPR training because we provided initial CPR training in 2024.
So, and again, we kind of want to continue to build on that partnership. So the fire station that's across the street here, we'd like to come and just kind of make a proposal for us to potentially lease that building out. We would like to make that kind of a semi-regional hub for us here. It has plenty of space. It's a good setup to kind of what we use, and same thing kind of with the fire department. We have locations kind of all over. We have a location in Broussard right now. It's on the other side of Highway 90 from here. So we would look to be able to kind of make this a little bit bigger hub where we can put more ambulances that would kind of come in and out of here. For our team members, it helps from people, work in Iberia Parish to North Lafayette. Plus it gives us, some more kind of space to be able to expand. With that, we would anticipate to update the building. We walked through it with Chief Champagne just to kind of take a look at it, just cleaning up the interior, updating it to the specs that we need and bring it all back up. Also too, we're very open to be able to clean up the outside that matches the theme of Main Street. So putting a cover on it, updating it to where it looks, professional and kind of meets that theme of what y'all been doing here. So again, that's what we're here for tonight. We love the partnership. We want to continue it long-term, and we just think that this would be a great location for us to kind of, be a part of the community and continue that partnership. So.
You have been a very good partner to us, your whole company. We appreciate that. It's been a very active relationship for a long, long time. What's your expectation on how many crews and ambulances would be operational out of this facility?
Yeah, so we probably maybe 5 to 6 that we would have ambulances, and they're different levels of capability, right? So, we help to facilitate the hospitals to get patients moved back and forth or people who can't ride in cars. So we would have some of those ambulances. We would have our 911 emergency ambulances that would also be stationed out of here too. Realistically, again, probably 5 to 6. We'd really need to just make sure that we have enough personal vehicle parking kind of in the back because, you got 2 people and they make a crew change, so you have 4 people at some time. So we don't want to get too crowded with it, but that's initially kind of what we're thinking.
And, I know we've been talking for a little while and we understand and everybody understands that the building needs some updating. It needs some work. Fire department utilized it for a long time, but everybody's sort of on the same page. We understand there would be an investment there that you'd have to make, and y'all have agreed, you've looked at it, inspected it, that it would, you're willing to meet that challenge. And that would be good for the city because, the building's in our care right now. We're not really doing anything with it. I believe this would be a very, very good use for it. I have to believe it would kind of help us with our response times. We'd have a bigger presence within our city. The one request I would ask, and I already asked you, but as we move forward, I know this is just a rendering, but, we'd like to sort of, be able to agree that the look of the front of the building is something that, it feels permanent so that we all can kind of agree on it. It's fitting for downtown.
Yes, so we're absolutely want to make the investment to clean it up again, not clean it up, but update it. For us, yes, a bigger location that we can be, right on Main Street. There's tons of value for us to be in that. So to answer your question, yes, we just wanted to put something together that, was just somewhat of a rendering to show that we don't want to leave it like it is. We do want to be able to update it, put a cover over the front to where our team members, can walk in and out and those type of things. So yes, we're absolutely okay and, want to work with y'all as, if this is a thing to make sure that, it fits the theme of what everyone's trying to accomplish.
Someone mentioned to me that y'all might be a little bit of a noisy neighbor, but I can't imagine being any noisier than Chief Champagne and his crew, because they were pretty noisy neighbors as well.
We can give you references. We're an okay tenant.
So at this point, I believe Gerald has been working with the attorney on your side,
Yep.
just sort of going through the particulars about a lease. So there's no real action to happen tonight, I don't believe. But, we did want the council to weigh in and express any opinions that they have on it and, at least take it that far tonight. So, any comments?
No, thank you for the investment in the community, and where do we sign?
Appreciate that.
The average response time is 8 minutes and something. What do you think it would go down to?
It's hard to say without, so look, that, just to give some context, that response time, so the national average for response time is close to 10 minutes. So the response, we're very proud of it and the fact that the city of Broussard, along with Lafayette Parish. So, we'd be happy to come back, after and just kind of have a comparison to show, yeah, it does or not. We take a lot of time and effort to use some really historical, down to the point data to make sure our ambulances are in the right place at the right time. So, and I'm sure you see in the community, there's green ambulances driving up and down every road. That's purpose for us because we keep moving and we're always trying to move to make sure that we're covering the most community that we can in the quickest amount of time. So, but again, the 8-minute response time is way lower than the national standard. And again, we're very proud of that, to have a very good response time. And there's some other pieces that Rebecca didn't go over. There's more to just showing up on time, right? It's the care that is given to our patients in the back of the ambulance. There's a whole section in there. Those are all things that we track on a very regular basis that Rebecca and her team looks at to make sure that not only we're showing up on time, but we're providing the best care that we can.
I think we agree that this would be an improved way to serve our public if you were in that building. So with that, thank you. And
Appreciate it.
we'll keep
Thank
working
y'all.
on it. Thank you. I'm gonna call Mr. Benterio forward. Item 4.5, report on condemnation update of 107 Lowell Street, Emma Lee Washington and Kurt James Washington Estate.
So this is this is one of the condemnations that was in last month's meeting. Miss Naomi Washington was at the meeting. She asked for some additional time. And we requested to be able to get inside the building to do an inspection of the entire building. We were able to get into the building. Me and the building official did an inspection. Mr. Rodney Richard's office did the inspection. These are still the same pictures from previous. The building itself seems to be in very good structural state. It's more cosmetic. I did speak to Mr. Rodney Richard. He is prepared to do a plan review from all the pictures and the inspection. And this is his suggestion: do a plan review, which would give Miss Naomi and Mr. Amos, who I met, her brother, who is the owner as well, a way forward to purchase the permits and start to repair the house and get what they need going. Miss Naomi is here if y'all have any questions.
So cosmetic, no plumbing, no electrical, no,
There will be a little bit of electrical. It's not, it would have to be done with a, electrical contractor. But as far as for the outside, a lot of it is cosmetic, very little structural. There might be a little bit once they get into it, and they are aware of that. But Mr. Rodney does have the capability of giving a good, plan review with his inspection and, his other officials' inspection that came to see the inside, to at least give them a way forward to make the repairs.
So, Ben, would it be reasonable for the council to allow an additional 30 days for those things to move forward, for the inspection to happen or the review to happen, permits to be bought, and then you could report back in 30 days on where we are? I think
Yes, sir.
the council gave 30 days at the last meeting. I believe what the city's looking for is just to track progress. And if we're making progress and it is the will of the owner to improve the property and get it up to standard, everybody wins.
Absolutely. I do believe that we can have the plan review taken care of probably by the end of this week, which would give her the ability to start getting contractors to get pricing to do the repair she needs to do outside, allow her to get some temporary electrical. So I think within a month, she should at least be able to have the first contractor hired to be able to start her process of repairs.
Are you comfortable with that, Councilwoman? Okay, there's no action on the item tonight, but direction is what Ben and I need on how the council would like to move forward. So if everybody's comfortable with that, I think we'll.
Yeah, I'm good with
we'll
that.
maintain. Thank you very much for stepping up and taking care of the property. Item 4.6, condemnation update for 205 St. Deportes Street, Louis Jacqueline Marie Smith Estate.
So this is another one that was on last month's meeting. We tried to notify the property owners. We sent out certified letters, mail, and I tagged the building. We never received any communication with the property owner. No signed green card for the certified letter. When we spoke with legal last meeting, he needed some additional time to research to make sure we provided proper notification. And that's kind of why we're at this point, to get a little advice from him on how to move forward.
Regarding this one, I think we need to pass this. There's some notice requirements that we need to address with respect to the
Yes, I think we can get it done.
Item 4.7, condemnation of the 219 Lowell Street, Lorena Washington, Patricia, and LaFair Abear.
So this is the home that was, in pretty bad shape at the time. Reached out, the property owner talked to us, Mr. LaFair Abear. He has.
This is the rental?
Yes, ma'am. He has evicted the tenant. He has cleaned up all the trash. The grass is being cut, as you can tell. They aired out the inside. He does have some flooring to do, some different things. He's coming in periodically. No one lives in the house. The water is on. There are no leaks. He does have power. So he's in the process of cleaning, preparing it for another tenant or for his daughter to provide a tenant. But as far as for condemnation set up now, I think it's habitable at this point. So he's brought it into compliance.
Continue to monitor and report back once completed, or if we fail to move forward.
Yes, sir.
Item 4.8, condemnation update of 313 Gustav Street, Dorothy Flugents.
So Ms. Dorothy's son, right prior to the previous council meeting, purchased a demo permit. And as you can tell, the mobile home is no longer there. He had a antique car that is gone as well. He's cleaned up the lot, and I think he is going to look at moving forward with purchasing a new trailer to move on there, like within city regulations.
No.
Was there some dispute on where the trailer was as far as the property lines?
There was some conversation about that. However, the city doesn't
Just
really
before he
get,
goes
yeah,
and moves another trailer?
he has to have a formal board survey. So in other words, he's gonna have to get a survey to make sure he's within all setbacks. So, and he's aware of that. He will have to make sure his trailer's put on his property and it meets all setback regulations.
So we can consider this one complete
This one is
and
complete and we can
in
take
the
it off.
past?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Ben. It's good to see we have progress on 3 out of the 4.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Positive
Thank
progress. Item 5.1, resolutions. Resolution number 883-26, a resolution to amend the 2025, 2026 operating budget and revenues and expenditures to increase the expenditures for East Madison Street District 2 drainage project. Do we have a motion to approve?
I move.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. This is a request by Councilman David Bonet. I'll turn the item over to him.
I want to thank Heather and David for coming meet me and looking at the project. I think we can all agree there's relatively no infrastructure for drainage, not just on the part of the street that Mel has pictured out, but almost all the way down the street to the city, to the old city hall. Can we agree on that? Well, I mean, y'all looked at it. There's hardly no infrastructure. No, there's no ditch on one side and the ditch on the other side stopped up. And for that matter, there's really no drainage except on Lee from Maine to Madison. Morgan's pitiful and Washington, Hope, relatively no drainage there either. But this is part of this master drainage plan that we were talking about a while ago, but just a small, minute part of it. A start, we gotta start somewhere. And really from Highway 90 to Albertsons and from Clare to the railroad track, what we spent millions of dollars. This is a small, minute start. We gotta start somewhere. So, I'm asking for, we go to start somewhere, and this is a good place to start. I explained to y'all who came meet me where the water flows when it's flooding. And, this is just to let it go. It's all ending up there anyhow, without making a big circle. So I'm asking y'all, it's really a minute amount of money, to okay this.
After going look, I do see what you're saying, Councilman Bonan. And, my parents live on South Washington Street and they tend to flood when you get a heavy rain on that end. Kind of talked to Mel and Walter a little bit and kind of got their point of view. I know, it's been kicked around a little bit with them, but, I know there's the other drainage project. That's Lee Street for the Ridgeview outfall. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. In terms of that drainage project, what does that do to South Washington Street, corner South Washington and, Monroe?
Well, I believe the project that y'all funded that is actually getting ready to start is going to alleviate a lot of drainage problems in that area and within that same area. But what it also, the problem right now is, if you remember when we were talking about the drainage master plan, what I said was I can design the best thing in the world, but if we can't maintain it, then we're doomed. Right now, Mel can't maintain that system because it's so out of whack. So this project that y'all just funded is going to give Mel a place to start so that he can actually branch off of that particular project and clean away from that area. And also, I mean, this is not the last project we're doing. It's the first project of the historic Broussard Drainage Initiative. So, my personal feeling is that this is gonna take a lot of pressure off that area. It's gonna improve drainage. And David and I have had many conversations. The way the water flows when it drains is, it goes everywhere because it has nowhere to go. Because all of the roadside ditches are just, the grades are wrong, the pipe sizes are wrong. Nothing really works the way, and nothing really works the way it should. And what we're trying to do is give it a path, and there's no path now, so. I don't know if Mel wants to.
Yeah, and I know after walking with David, I agree with Councilman Forbes too. I see the problem. I get what you're saying, 100%. But in 125,000, and it's kind of it's not that much. It is a drop in the bucket as far as drainage is concerned and what we're gonna spend on it. But with this project that's already in place, can we not finish that one and then revisit this? Revisit
this
it
tomorrow.
instead of kind of tripping over ourselves almost.
Well, you see how fast this project is getting put to work. We okayed the money for this 6 months ago. They haven't broke ground yet. So there's no point in waiting.
Yeah, but you've been-
And we also have a builder that's coming and build 4 houses on one lot. So then he's gonna impede any kind of drainage that we're doing. So there's no point in waiting. So the more they build, the more we have to clean ditches and let it roll. So it has to be done eventually anyhow. There's no point in waiting if we're gonna have a slabbed up lot right in the middle of where we're talking about, and then he wants to build 3 more houses on another lot 50 yards away from where he's gonna put 4 houses. So the point of waiting is way past that. We've been waiting, my whole lifetime has been like this. So why wait anymore? And our big drainage proposal that we just talked about, it has to start somewhere. And it just as soon start right there where no ditch, no pipe, nothing. It's the ditch, the people's property is the drainage. And the inner part of all of these blocks are just deeper than the street. The streets are all dams now because they've been blacktop on top of blacktop on top of blacktop. So, and the water, when it gets out of the ditch, it wants to run west anyhow. And all of this water ends up where I'd like to put it anyhow.
I think, my-
Well, it's all going west when it gets out of the ditches. When it's in the ditches, that's no problem. It's going somewhere. But when it's out of the ditches, it all runs west across Morgan. And I've actually stood on the yellow line of Morgan, and it's been ankle deep. And it runs so hard that it splashes up to my knees. I've had that twice, only twice. But Morgan is a dam stopping it. 8 blocks right here suffer from that. And by the time it passes and goes under Morgan, it's flooding 3 houses by my house on St. Pierre, St. Jean, and right by the nursery. It's got 3 more structures that flood. And this would bypass passing all that water by their houses, by a block. It would direct it straight to the outfall. And Walter said a few times, the best way to get the drainage from the things from flooding is to get water to the outfall as fast as we can. Well, that's what this is gonna do. I'm gonna get it all there. It's gonna take relieving what does go under Morgan now. Like I said, one day it's gotta be done. And the point of waiting, I think waiting time is over. Like I said, we got contractors fixing to slab up more houses right there in the direct vicinity. He's got plans to do it, so.
When are we expected to start the drainage, the drainage project?
I would say probably in the next month. And let me say something. I just have to. When you say you gave us the okay 6 months ago to do this, and I gotta go through public bidding and all that,
Well,
that's pretty quick for our kind of work. So.
My comment was
yeah.
gonna be, this is my first term here, and the first thing I learned right away was it takes a lot of time to
It
get a
does,
lot
and-
done.
And so, I mean, a 6-month turnaround on a civil engineering project is pretty good. So we anticipating that they're gonna begin work within the next month or two. We've executed contracts and as far as I know, he's ordering materials. Do you have any info on that, Dan? Do you know? So in other words, once we go through public bidding and do all of that, which we are required by law to do, then he has to order materials and boxes and all that, and he can't start till he gets
And
all that.
Councilman Bona, I want to be clear, I agree, and something needs to be done. I agree with you. And I think, I'm not an engineer, so I don't want to say your plan is good, but I do want to see where this goes before we do anything else.
I didn't understand.
I want to see where this takes us before we do anything else,
Well,
as
what-
far as the project.
Well, well, it's, anything is gonna help. I said that the night we passed it. But somewhere along the line, you're gonna have to put some infrastructure on Madison Street, and not just the block that we're talking about, but the whole street. It's a rapid, water runs down the street, makes rapids.
David, can I say something? We looked at the drainage in that area. I agree with you. It's totally ineffective. 100%.
All the way to Main Street.
I'm talking about that one block there. I'm specifically talking about that. Yes, something needs to be done. I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. But I think we're building the backbone for that. Just like we couldn't even contemplate doing anything in any of that area till we did Ridgeview. And that was at the time, the biggest single drainage project that I'm aware of that Broussard ever funded. But that gave us, we can work off of that. Just like this project, Mel can work off of.
Okay, let's timeline. I saw, Dottie marked all kind of stuff for blocks around right there. Gas company came, marked all of that stuff, flagged it, painted it. If it was okay, what kind of timeline are we talking about tonight? If we'd okay it, what kind of timeline are you talking about being able to break ground?
You talk, excuse me, you're talking about the
My
Madison Street?
Yeah.
We'd have to get materials, but
But
we don't have to go through
whatever
the
it would
bid.
take, what kind of time are you talking about?
We don't have to go through the bid process. A couple of weeks, we could get started. But again, it's a small project that we don't have to go through the bid process.
That's my point.
I think my two concerns is, although I agree with you, what happens if we do that? And I know the ditches are dry because the water's on the other side, but what if the water comes rushing faster than those ditches can handle, and then we just end up with a problem on the other side of Morgan Street? And if we can't get the city engineer on board, I just have trouble.
Size pipe you had planned to put under Morgan?
I was thinking about putting a 24-inch arch pipe. No, a 24-inch pipe is,
A scorch pipe is what they have at my car wash. It's 30 inches, but it's flat on the bottom.
A 20
So you got a half a pipe.
a 24-inch arch pipe is the equivalent to a 24-inch round pipe. The volume can carry the same amount. That's the same. A 24-inch arch pipe is a 24-inch pipe. Now, that being said, like you and I spoke about already, I cannot certify that we are not going to hurt somebody downstream. I'm not going to sit here tonight and say that. We may or may not. I'm not going to say that we're good, that we won't hurt anybody.
Well,
I cannot say that.
I'm not gonna say that either. In a 15, 20-year flood, everybody's gonna get wet. But all of the water that's gonna go there is gonna get there anyhow. By making a big circle and flooding 6 more properties, not including the 8 blocks on this side of it. And the ditch, like I said to all of y'all, the ditch next to the Baptist church got this much water in it when everything is flooded. I mean, if y'all come see it when it's flooding, you'd agree with me even more. And like I said, this is, one of these days it's gotta be done. It's just the beginning of this master plan for the whole part of town. One day, you'll have to do it. And like I said, we got a builder coming. He's slabbing up slabs right in the middle of the neighborhood. And for every inch he can get, the builders like to build maximum square footage. So he's gonna build, and it's not gonna do the drainage any good. So the point of waiting is kind of ridiculous to me. It's been like that way too long.
I agree something needs to be done, but I also agree that I think we need to wait and see what the Lee Street project does. Because I don't want it to hurt the other people. Once we get a clearer picture, then reassess it and go from there.
Well, between Morgan and the outfall, there's a cement parking lot of the Baptist church and an empty lot. Nobody lives between them. I don't see how it could hurt anybody. There's nobody to live. Further back where?
You said that you get water underneath your place. And then Howard Street also gets water. North St. Pierre, all of that.
With all of that, because the water gets to my car wash and goes down there, this would bypass up 2 blocks of all of that, getting the water to the outfall faster and not putting pressure on like St. Jean and where Russell Tribe's house is at, Rose's and house and all of that, they get water regularly in their house. It would bypass that by a block. It would get to, and the water's on there anyhow. It's just, they're gonna bypass them by a block.
I just want to make a couple of points for clarification so the audience and the viewers understand what we're talking about. We're naming a lot of streets, but in the master planning, the Old Town overlay, the Old Town drainage systems have been identified, and I believe there's 4 separate systems. Morgan Street cuts 2 of those systems. The area that Councilman Bonan is referring to is one system behind where we are tonight, cut by Morgan Street and Main Street. There's a separate system on the other side of Morgan Street going towards St. Cecilia in that area. That would be Councilwoman Gerard's district, mostly, at least I think. What Councilman Bonan is suggesting is not a project currently in that plan. And he suggested putting a pipe under Morgan Street to relieve some drainage problems in that first system into a separate system. And we've heard from our engineer that this is not an engineered project. It is a project Councilman Bonan is asking for. He has the right to ask for it. But that going from one system to the next is not maybe a good idea. We don't have engineering on this project as of today. The project that is funded, the $300,000 project that we were talking about, is in the same area that Councilman Bonan is referring to. The hope would be it would relieve this area. It may not be enough. I don't know. I mean, we have the science on it. We have the engineering on it, and it's funded and it's going to be done. Gives Mel a place to work backwards from a main arterial. But what Councilman Bonan is asking for is to do an additional project above that. Some of the concern seems to be crossing those 2 drainage systems. And that's what somebody was referring to, Mel was referring to. In doing so, there could be a potential negative in the other drainage system. With all that being said, we need relief in all the systems. We have problems in Councilman Gerard's area. We have Councilwoman Gerard's area. We have problems in Councilman Bonan's area. The city has been unable, unwilling, or just hasn't addressed in the last 100 years the historic Broussard Drainage Improvement Plan, which is part of our overall plan, is us taking a very concentrated, committed effort and to start doing projects that are going to relieve those troubled issues that have been around for a long time. But our challenge is some of those culverts have been in the ground for 80 years, 60 years, 40 years. The ditches have filled in, very congested area where, things have overgrown and just been there for a long time. And it's time to do some very expensive draining work in those areas. But that's where we're getting. And I just wanted to clarify the whole thing because we kind of started with halfway through the explanation, and I'll leave it there. But if there is public comment, we need to take it, Kelly.
No public comment.
I yield the floor back to the council.
All right, let me remind you that when, I spoke to y'all about this, when the water's in the ditches, that's no problem, it's going somewhere. When the water's out of the ditch, in the yards, it runs straight west. I mean, you can come, next time it floods, y'all please come downtown and watch. It runs straight across Morgan Street. So it's not taking water from one place and putting it in another. And then now that we got Main Street fixed up, the drainage there, it's just gonna be even worse. And then you can go down Morgan Street, that's a good story, from Madison to Main. Look on the right side of the road. It's pathetic. So it really is pathetic. Somewhere we gotta start. And, the waiting, like I said, they building, we're gonna wait for another flood. Wait till they build some more and just compound more drainage on stuff that we've done, that we should have done, or that we not gonna do. So somewhere along the line, we gotta start, and I think this is a way, I mean, timeline, we'll be through with this project before the other.
And to speak to the mayor's point, I think that this was not part of the master plan. This is an add-on. Yeah.
The thing no, it was not.
It was not. And like the mayor said, the focus of the master plan is to open up those arterials first. The backbone.
Outfall.
The outfalls,
outfall
to open those up
yeah.
first. And then these little tributaries or whatever you call it. I think that's the point, is that we want to focus the dollars and the time on the arterials, the outflow.
The larger.
And
Well,
then
what
tie into it down the road.
What kind of timeline you got, think till we through it for fully functioning? I mean, y'all way up to,
We're almost up, Mr. Bart Anderson, yeah, we're probably 2, 3, 4 months, something like that.
like I said, what's the point of waiting?
Well, the 100, I know it's only a drop in the bucket compared to what we spend on drainage, but I think the point is that can money be better spent elsewhere? And can it be prioritized in cleaning out some outflows? That way we can just tie all of this into at a later time. I don't know if this is a Band-Aid, or if this is something that's part of the bigger master plan, or if this is just putting the cart before the horse.
The project that y'all funded, that we engineered, is not a Band-Aid. That's a permanent solution that it will be one of the very few streets in historic Broussard that's built to modern, where the drainage is to modern standards. And just to kind of clarify what the mayor said, we divided Old Broussard into 4 areas. Those areas are based on where the water historically flows. Bear in mind, for water to cross Morgan, it either has to go under it or over it. I've never seen it go over. The only place it can go under in that, up until the crossing by the lawnmower shop, there's a small 18-inch equivalent arch pipe under the Baptist church. Historically, we haven't seen water cross in that area. My concern is we take water from one area and put it into an area that's never seen it. Even though the ditch is empty at that particular spot, it's impacting the system. And Councilman Gerard and Councilman Bonet identified either 4 or 5 houses in that Gerard nursery area that
I had
have-
9.
It was 9. Y'all put X's on the map for us, that flood. Moving water into that system impacts it. That's what I'm scared of.
Well, Walter, like I told you, I've stood on Morgan Street twice with water running so hard, it's ankle deep now, making ripples that it splashed up to my knees. The water that goes, that I would want to send across Morgan and Madison goes there anyhow. And you just need to visualize. You can survey all your ditches, and I got printouts of it.
Yeah.
But until you see where the water's running, you'd see what I'm
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying, David, is
And
it
listen,
either
I
goes
asked you-
over
I
it or
asked you-
under it.
I asked you for numbers to put water under Madison 6 months ago, and all I got was a survey of the ditch. You never did your numbers, so I'm asking you again tonight. Can you do me a survey? Not just a
You're
survey, but
asking
an
me-
analysis.
You're asking me to kind of violate a principle that we don't normally violate. We don't take water from one system and put it
You're
into
not,
another.
you're not. That water goes there anyhow.
Well, according to me, we are.
Well, because you're never there when it floods. I called you that Friday morning when it flooded a few months ago, never returned my phone call. If you'd come see it, you'd see what I'm talking about.
Can we agree,
As
can we,
far as the ditches, y'all surveyed the ditches and you had the pipes all wackoed over there by Chapman's. No ditch along Madison, east of Morgan. But you never gave me an analysis about putting water under Morgan, that's where it goes over Morgan at Madison. It goes over that street a lot more than it goes over near the Baptist church. Regularly, it goes over that street. That intersection is underwater a lot of times. Running, moving. Over Morgan Street. Well, you need to come by sometime when it's raining. Me too. I should have took pictures.
We have a call for the question.
District 6,
No.
District 1,
No.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
No.
District 4,
no,
District 5,
No.
motion failed.
Item 5.2, a resolution pertaining to the municipal water pollution prevention environmental audit report. Do we have a motion to approve?
I make a motion. Second.
I'll turn it over to Mr. Mel Bertrand.
This is part of our yearly LDQ audit that we have to do for our sewer pond. This resolution is part of that packet that we have to turn into the DQ,
Standard business,
standard business.
annual report.
Yes.
Any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
yes,
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
motion approved.
Item 5.3, resolution number 885-26, a resolution declaring the contract for Main Street Phase 3B Part 2 to be substantially complete. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
second,
I presented tonight as Mr. Joseph Marino with DDG. Welcome to the firing line, Joseph.
Good evening, council. I've got a softball here, so get ready to hit it. So this is our recommendation to approve the Main Street Phase 3B project as substantially complete. Real quick recap is that we were here last year for the same project. Ultimately, it was decided to split the substantial completion up into two parts, only because the fact of the long lead time with the materials and supplies needed for the lights, the 40-foot tall lights. Believe it or not, still long delays with ordering and receiving those products, even after COVID. A lot of electrical components had that issue. So basically released retainage, released substantial completion on everything except the lights. And then here, and they got that approved last year. And then now here, we're recommending substantial completion for the lights and a little punch list items, change order items that came up. So really, that's the meat of it, and happy to answer any questions.
Or two, really. From the red lighted tons, north and south on Morgan and east and west on Main, are y'all gonna resurface that for like 100 yards in each direction? Because it's horrible. Yeah, it's terrible. They got
Yes.
potholes, they got broken asphalt.
So for the record, this substantial completion is for phase 3. Should have maybe started there. Phase 3 is from railroad tracks all the way to Albertson Parkway. The area you're referring to is for phase 2. They are, quick update there, next week, I believe, Monday, the asphalt crews are mobilizing.
Yeah.
And so what they're going to handle is all 4 legs, we got the intersection has 4 legs. So all 4 legs are going to be milled and overlaid On Morgan, it's gonna end just south of Tons, but then go all the way north to the railroad tracks. Yep, but this item specifically is for 3B, which is that way.
No, he answered.
Do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Question?
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you all.
Thank you, Joseph. Item 5.4, resolution number 886-26, a resolution accepting the lowest responsive bid for a new racket center and observation deck at St. Julian Park. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Our presenter tonight is Mr. Russell Tronhall with Tronhall Architecture, and Mr. Jamie Abshire is also here, our park director.
Good evening, council. Sorry for the voice. Triad Construction was the apparent low bidder at $6,002,000, roughly 67, a little over $67,000 under budget. And we recommend approving, or accepting.
How much under budget?
A little over $67,000.
67. I thought it was more than that.
The construction budget that we had for the project was $6,069,318. We were at $6,517,000, and a little bit more than that, including architect, engineer, and testing fees, for the project. The construction budget itself, we're right at about, just over $67,000 under budget.
Understood.
Yes.
Well, you had several bidders, so it was a healthy competition for
We
that
had a
that
couple
project.
that were within the budget line that we needed. A couple were missing affidavits, so by public bid law, we would have had to kick those anyway. But it was a good, fair bid. I thought the numbers were pretty close together, which for this large of a project, we usually see a bigger spread. So it made me feel pretty confident that there weren't any errors on the part. I have reached out to the contractor, give him the opportunity to check his numbers. They're good with their numbers and they're ready to rock and roll at this point.
Wonderful. So your recommendation is to award the bid?
That is correct, and then be able to move forward with contracting.
Kelly, any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Thank you.
Item 5.5, resolution number 887-26, a resolution approving and authorizing execution of active abandonment and acceptance of donation along Ambassador Caffrey Parkway. Do you have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
I'll refer to Mr. Gerald Deloney on this item, but we basically traded a piece of right-of-way we needed for a sewer project. I think that,
That's correct. I mean, there's part of the right of way that we have that's not being used will be abandoned, but an additional right of way area is being donated to the city. So it's actually, we're just moving it.
public comment, Kelly?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item 5.6, resolution number 888-26, a resolution declaring the contract for the reserve lift station and force main relocation project to be substantially complete. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion?
Second.
Como Engineering handled this. Mr. Daniel Hutchin is here tonight to give us a rundown of the project. Welcome, Daniel.
Good afternoon, council. This is for the reserve lift station, force main relocation. It relocated the force main for the reserve subdivision that's off of Mulan. That lift station, the force main was originally supposed to go to St. Etienne, the St. Etienne lift station. Something happened when they built the subdivision. St. Etienne was not ready, I think, Mel.
The subdivision was built before the San Etienne system.
System was built. So in the time being, they connected to the Broussard Middle lift station, the force main for that. And it was two lift stations connected. So what we did was we unconnected it to take the pressure of that off and reroute it to where it was originally supposed to go. We did the pump down, Mel and them were there, the fire department filled up the lift station, everything went well. We did a walkthrough, I think 2 Mondays ago. They've taken care of all this stuff on the punch list, so we recommend it substantially complete.
There is a hope that it will assist in some problematic areas that are supported by the lift station at Broussard Middle.
Yes.
We've had some freshwater intrusion problems there and some backing up. Councilman Allen is familiar with some of this. So we have hopes that this will be a big part of the relief, if not all of it, on that system. So good work, Daniel. Public comment, Kelly?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Daniel, real quick, will this also service the new build-to-rent development on the side of the reserve?
No, so they had their own,
They can have their own lift station.
they had their own lift station. I think they did end up laying in front of the development, that developer got with the contractor to lay their line, so.
Yeah, they're, both of the force mains are laid in the same trench. They laid them at the same time.
That way
But
they weren't going.
But the new development is on its own system.
Which goes into the same ATN system, is that right?
Correct.
Yes,
Yeah.
at different
To the bigger
points.
system.
Yes, sir.
Any further council discussion? Question?
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Or yes.
District 3. Motion approved.
Ordinances for adoption. Item 6.1, ordinance number 26-838, an ordinance amending the Code of Ordinances regulating and governing the subdivision of land in the city of Broussard. Do we have a motion to adopt?
On this item on the agenda,
We need a motion and a second to take
a
it.
second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I do have a blue card. Would you like to speak before or after the blue card, Councilman?
I would like to just state before the blue card.
Okay.
What I'd like to do, I'd like to amend the ordinance and, I'd like to remove, it looks like item E and F on page 45, which is the, lot sizes in the ordinance, but I would still like to move forward with the rest of the ordinance when it comes to, stub outs, the signage for the stub outs and everything else, if that's possible.
You and I have discussed this. I think a little bit more accurate is that section 514.1, 514.3, 514.8B would not be amended. The remainder of the changes that are in the document would be amended. That'd be a slightly more, because we don't, there's existing language that we want to keep there, not remove it. So
Okay.
we're just keeping it the same,
Okay.
if I'm making sense. Yeah.
So we have a motion on the floor, but before we take it to vote, I do have a blue card. We have a motion to amend. Mr. Stephen Abear would like to speak on the item and oppose it. Mr. Stephen?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, and the council. I definitely do not want to oppose the taking those sections out. Those are the sections that I have comments about. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I'm willing to put together, some development people to kind of give some input on these items for maybe some kind of future input or future action. So definitely this is what I was kind of looking for. So I'm not opposed anymore, and I would be in favor of I'd be in favor of the rest of the items in the amendment going forward. Good. All right, thank you very much.
And specifically, the items that were being referred to as taken out are, there's some language in the subdivision ordinance changes that restrict lot sizes adjacent from one development to a new development and the sizes that they can be reduced to. So it's been challenged. There's new conversations happening around here. We have a councilman who is proposing pulling that language out, but letting the rest of the ordinance go through because there were some other changes that are unaffected about with what I just mentioned. And we have a motion on the floor to amend. We have a second to amend. So to vote on that amendment, we need to call for the question. Or any other public comment?
No other public comment.
We need to call for the question.
We have council discussion.
We can have council discussion. Yes.
I just want a clarification. We're amending it or are we tabling it?
So we're amending it, but I do want that item to come back to the council. Just for right now, I would like to take it out.
Okay.
And then we'll look at it some more and then reintroduce
What
it.
specifics are there?
It's the lot sizes that they're referring to. It's going to be page 45.
Yeah, 45 through 47 are going to retain the original language.
Walter, can you give a brief summary of what stays and what Councilman Forbes is suggesting we take out?
So what we're carving out today deals with minimum lot sizes and minimum, or the most you can change lot sizes of properties touching another property. That we're saying you can't reduce the frontage on the lot by more than 10%. We're kind of carving that out tonight. We're not dealing with that tonight. The rest of the changes in the ordinance deal with, actually, we're updating the document on something y'all had already approved. And then we're adding a section dealing with treating substreets. We're going to put signage on substreet stuff. Because a lot of people come and say, I didn't know that road was going to be extended. Now we're going to require them to put a sign that says, this road's going to be extended. So that's what y'all are dealing with tonight.
Yeah, that gets rid of a lot of pain for the Planning and Zoning Commission.
So, so with the removal of that section and the amendment of the ordinance for this issue of the lot sizes, it will have to be rewritten as a change and be reintroduced to the council. Just for clarity's sake, that's how it will return to the council. It is Councilman Forbes' suggested changes, so we're going to allow him to participate in the discussion and then work on the language to bring back at a later date.
Is that correct?
Correct.
Correct.
And I don't want to split hairs here, but we're not removing these sections. We're just retaining the original language that's in them.
Correct. They just will not be approved tonight.
Yeah, the changes will not, to those specific sections will not be approved. Therefore, the existing language just stays.
Right. Our existing language, our existing ordinance
I-
will hold as it is.
Yeah, I don't want to, I mean,
Correct.
you know, I'm sitting.
You're splitting hairs again, Walter. So we have a motion on the floor. If everyone understands the motion, we have to amend this ordinance and then pass it as amended if it is the will of the council.
Question?
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6.
Yay.
Motion approved to amend.
Okay, so now the item on the floor would be passing the ordinance as amended. Last chance for public comment.
No public comment.
Do we have do we need a motion to take it up, Gerald?
need a motion and a
Motion to second and a call for the question.
A
Do we have-
motion.
Second.
Question?
District 6,
Yay.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Ordinance number 26-839, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance of the city of Broussard by adding maps E5, E6, property along Garber Road to be zoned as neighborhood commercial. Map E9, property along South Bernard Road and Allison's Parkway to be rezoned community commercial to RA residential accessory and R1 single family residential. Map E13, E14, F13, property along North Riviera Road to be rezoned from neighborhood commercial to residential accessory and R1 single family residential. Map G8 and G9, property along South Girard Road and US Highway 92 be zoned community commercial. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion.
Second?
This item was introduced at the last meeting. Maps are, again, in the packet. Kelly, do we have any public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1.
Yes.
Motion approved.
Item 6.3, ordinance number 26-840, an ordinance to amend the zoning ordinance on gas station restrictions in residential areas. Do we have a motion to adopt?
Make a motion.
Second.
This item was also introduced at our last meeting. Kelly, do you have public comment?
No public comment.
Council discussion?
Question.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 6,
Yay.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2.
Yes.
Motion approved.
That was the last item listed on our agenda. One small announcement, Coffee with the Mayor and Chiefs, next Friday, March 20th at Préjean's from 7 a.m. till 8:30 a.m. We'd love to have you there for coffee and discussion. We appreciate all of you being at our meeting tonight. Please drive safely. Meeting adjourned.